What feels illegal, but really isn't? It feels illegal getting out of my wheelchair. I'm not paralyzed, but it helps having a wheelchair. But people always think I'm faking a disability when I get out my chair. This is really a good example, and people like to judge easily, and you feel the need to explain. But then you think you don't have to, because they are strangers. It should be normal for a person to do both without being judged. While I don't use a wheelchair, I have sometimes a pricking pain in my foot, because broke it once, and it makes it difficult to walk straight sometimes. Last few minimums, and then I walk normal, but if someone would watch, they would think either I'm special, or mocking someone. Card counting in a casino. It's totally legal within the law, but the security and management will make you feel like a criminal for doing it. It's my understanding that they'll escort you right out the door for it, and this is something I don't understand. What with having spent zero time playing anything but Wheel of Fortune in a casino point, if a person has 2 brain cells, they should be able to figure out that the place is making plenty of money somewhere. The casino exists to play a game of taking your money, but if you're someone that can calculate the odds in a card game from knowing what cards have been played, the house considers it cheating. Taking someone's shopping cart with their groceries in it while inside the store. Where I live, Germany, it's illegal and the other person is allowed to defend their cart using mild violence. Telling your barber that you don't like the haircut. Your employer will tell you you're not allowed to discuss your wages, but legally you are, and you cannot be fired for it. Taking home the free ducks from the park. Asking someone for the money you lent to him or her. Walking out of a store without buying SMTH. I'm convinced I'm going to set off the alarms, even though I'm not stealing anything. Getting a haircut from someone other than your regular hairdresser. Bringing reusable grocery bags to a different grocery store than the one the bags are branded as. I'm anxious that they will accuse me of stealing the bag I bought last time if I bring it to the same store and don't have a receipt. Pulling your pants down when you have 2 pairs of pants. On cold days in Canada, I will wear sweatpants underneath my jeans, and when visiting my girlfriend's house I try to surprise her at random times. Walk in, we chat a bit, and then just immediately start to yank off my jeans. She always reacts in shock until sees that my comfy pants are on underneath. Then she says, "Let's go watch TV." Bringing your baby home from the hospital the first time. I remember thinking they're really going to let me just walk out of here with this fragile infant and no experience. The first day we brought our daughter home she just never stopped crying if we set her down. After hours of just trying anything to get her to stop crying, and the only thing that worked was picking her up and walking, my wife and I were at a loss and called the hospital. The convo went like this. Hi, we left a few hours ago and we are concerned something is wrong, our baby won't stop crying. Hospital, okay, what exactly is happening? Does she have a fever? Rash? Is anything visibly wrong? No fever. Rash? Nothing looks wrong. But every time we set her down she just erupts and cries. Oh, that's pretty normal. That's why we always suggest the parents let us take the babies the first day or 2 at the hospital, so you can get rest. So they just cry all the time. Usually. Just rest assured you are not doing anything wrong. Oh, okay, thanks. As soon as we hung up I just looked at my wife and said they tricked us, and she goes, "What do you mean?" I said if anyone had the baby in their hospital room and it never stopped crying you wouldn't take the baby home with you. We would have just left her there and walked out. My wife said no way. About an hour later of non-stop walking to get our daughter to stop crying she looks at me and said yeah, we would have just left her there or never left the hospital. Reading a book completely in bookstore then not buying it. Getting a professional massage. Here, let me just lie naked on this table and pay you money to rub oil all over my body. I was 16. The female masseuse was not particularly attractive, but I was lying on my stomach and got the random 16-year-old boy boner just from your hog and being in physical contact with absolutely anything. Even if it's a massage table. She kept asking me to turn over onto my back. I didn't want her to see that my flag was at full mast. I caved in. Finally turned over, and I wanted to shrivel up and die out of embarrassment. My mom got a massage with the same woman after. While I waited in lobby, my mom came out and said, "It was weird. The masseur said I think your son enjoyed that one." What was that about? I played dumb, but it made me want to run for president on a platform on emancipating a masseur's client privilege law. Can't believe the masseur sold me out. After turning 18 or 21 in some places, and being able to just do anything, without anyone's permission, with your own car, that can take you, wherever you please, still feels weird. Staying signed into your significant other's streaming accounts, after breaking up. My dad had a tendency to go to a store, and eat and drink off the shelves, then go pay for the wrapper at the end. Always thought we'd get arrested for that. I will do this sparingly. Say if the kids are really thirsty while shopping, what I do is put the opened container in plain view at the top of the cart so everyone can see that I'm going to pay for it. If anyone ever asked, which they never have, I would just tell them I'm planning to pay at the counter. Putting ketchup on spaghetti, absolutely that. I have an Italian colleague and I really am always trying too hard not to let her see that, like she'd send me straight to a Sicilian jail. Being a 30-year-old male and taking your 4-year-old niece to a kids live musical. My partner and I took my niece to the Frozen Live musical today because we purchased tickets at late notice. I had to take a seat in the row behind my female partner and my niece. The stares I was getting from the other audience members because I was a dude sitting by myself at a kids musical. I felt like I should been in prison. 9/10 so would do it again. The Frozen musical was great. Not liking dogs. People treat it as the worst thing in the world if you aren't deathly allergic and just don't like dogs. U.S. legislators are allowed to trade stock in and sit on boards of private companies while passing legislation affecting those companies, not just bills that affect them, but bills that literally allow those companies to even exist. How many Raytheon or Oshkosh defensive vehicles have you purchased? Someone bought $54 million worth of Oshkosh Corp stock the day before the USPS announced who will build the next mail truck. What is even worse is Oshkosh was not even in the running for it and had no prototype/research unlike the 6 other companies. When we got out of COVID lockdown in Melbourne, going outside, going out to a restaurant or bar, having friends in your house, now it's just not wearing a mask at the supermarket. $100 billion corporation paying absolutely zero in taxes whilst also owning several billion-dollar businesses. And yes, I'm talking about the Mormon Church. Sleeping with someone that is in a relationship. Child marriage in the US. It is fully legal in some states for men to marry girls under 18, so long as they have parental consent. The legal age to marriage is 17 in 10 states, while 21 others set the standard at 16. In Maryland, Hawaii and Kansas, it's 15. North Carolina and Alaska allow them at 14. Working in a primary school as a teaching assistant for a few years when I was younger, as a guy, also going anywhere or doing anything in public with my baby son, without my wife, even if I'm looking after him whilst she's out with me and temporarily leaves. It's probably more of the opposite, feels normal but people seem suspicious just cause I'm a guy, still in this day and age.